All right, so we made it to problem 11, part A of the final exam practice. And in this problem, we have a function, a of x, which is the square root of 1 plus x. And we want to find the Maclaurin series, the first three terms, and the radius of convergence. Okay, so the first thing that we notice about this series is that, or rather this function, is that we can rewrite it as 1 plus x to the power 1/2. And then we should immediately identify that this will have a Maclaurin series that is actually a binomial series. So we can write this function as the series n equals 0 to infinity of 1/2, because that's our power here. Choose n times x to the power n. And we can do this as long as the absolute value of x is strictly less than 1, so the radius of convergence here is equal to 1. And this is because we are talking about the binomial series. So either way, we want to calculate the first three terms. This is the Maclaurin series because it's a power series that describes our function, and it's centered at 0. So that is exactly the Maclaurin series for a function. So all we have left to do is calculate the first three terms. And so just to say a general word about the binomial series, we can represent the function 1 plus x to the power k, this is for any value of k, as the binomial series starting at 0, going to infinity, of k choose n times x to the n. And these coefficients, k choose n, for n not equal to 0, this is going to be equal to k times k minus 1 times k minus 2, all the way down to k minus n plus 1, and then we divide by n factorial. And specifically, when n is equal to 0, so this formula holds for all values of n greater than equal to 1, and specifically for n equals 0, because of course this term always appears in our binomial series, we just define this term as being equal to 1. Okay, so we want to calculate the first three terms. So here for n equals 0, n equals 1, and n equals 2. So we want to calculate 1/2 choose 0. But like I just said, for any value of k, k choose 0 is just equal to 1. So that term is very easy to calculate. The coefficient for the linear term is going to be 1/2 choose 1. And so this is 1/2 divided by 1 factorial. This is just equal to 1/2. Not all that difficult to calculate. The next coefficient is 1/2 choose 2. And this is going to be 1/2 times 1/2 minus 1 divided by 2 factorial, which is just equal to 2. But either way, we need to calculate the numerator. So we have 1/2 times negative 1/2. So this is negative 1/4 in the numerator. Divided by 2 is negative 1/8. So our first three terms for this binomial series so this is the Maclaurin series, 1/2 choose n times x to the n. And this is equal to 1 plus 1/2 x minus 1/8 x squared plus some higher order terms that we didn't actually calculate the coefficients for. But either way, here's our Maclaurin series. So for all the general terms, we know the coefficients are just 1/2 choose n, and these are the first three terms of our Maclaurin series. And we said from the beginning that the radius of convergence was equal to 1. All right, so that's it for problem 11a. Let's move on to the next part.